All right, sound test. All right. Bonjour. All right. If you're watching this live, welcome to the live session. This is the first episode. Welcome to the channel, actually. We're gonna start pretty much in Cities Skylines Series, episode one. No mods, so basically pure vanilla, except that it's containing all the DLCs for the particular game, including the newest one, which is the airport. And pretty much the goal of the series will just to, let's say, live retransmit, but this is also going to be published after the live is over for everyone to see. Especially that, again, this is going to be a series trying to develop a city from the beginning to the end. Again, no mods, so pure vanilla, except that we have DLCs. And at the same time, we are going to apply actually some mods, but still from the game, nothing gathered from the Steam Workshop or anything else. Besides one, which is of course something obvious, the game will limit ourselves in regards of the tiles that we can occupy on the map. So basically, we have gathered the um, mod for 25 tiles, which is named the Big City. The reason why this is the only one mod applied is because, of course, it's having a limit, which might limit ourselves in getting the biggest city that we want. At the same time, I'm still thinking in regards of unlimited oil and ore and unlimited soil, only because the unlimited oil and ore will benefit us in not abandoning any industrial zones like farming or oil gathering and whatever. So I'm not going to keep this on, but it's purely optional. If you really want to get to the hardest mode possible, you can just trigger those off. But again, this might get some industrial zones in your city getting abandoned because of course the natural resources will just get off. Saying in the chat, you want to see my face? No can do, now will happen. At the same time, unlimited soil, so we can of course build mountains if we have to, and that's it. Alright. Anything else like unlock all progressions or unlimited money or hard mode will be kept off. So let's start by choosing the map. Of course, now we have all the maps possible from all the DLCs, including the vanilla ones, which came with the first game. The Cities Skylines is the first one, and the rest, of course, from the other DLCs. Struggle to the maps pretty much is the biggest struggle because normally we are looking into suitable area for building. If it's not over 65, I'm not too much interested because it's a struggle to handle all the mountains and everything. You can consider this series being a tutorial as well. For the newcomers in playing Cities Skylines, you can also consider this as a tutorial because I will try my best to also explain the steps that I'm taking. I'm not a pro at the game myself either, but it may be a good choice to follow maybe the stream to maybe get some tips. or maybe you share some tips with me in the chat. Of course, if you're watching live. All right. I have actually looked a bit at all of the maps possible, and there's a lot to choose from, but I'm much more interested in using the ones from here, especially that, for example, this particular map is providing like a 90% buildable area, and at the same time allowing us to create a lot of industrial zones. See me in the chat messages. Oh my god, you are live. I was waiting forever. Come on, I have not been live ever. Alright, let's see what map are we gonna choose. This is one of the favorites, but only because it's flat, so we can simply build however we want and extend without struggling too much with mountains, but the water flow in the city is a bit off, I might say. So I might gonna choose Mountain Tapper or maybe this one, which is also 83%. Tropical Pass, not liking too much the tropical idea. Island, River Valley Plain, so let's choose, I'm thinking about Mountain Tapper or Farm and Flats. So let's choose this one, because it's again a good one to extend the city as high as possible. Not gonna use left hand traffic, no need. Use to the right hand anyways. Alright. Welcome everyone. Seven people already on my stream. That's an honor. Alright. Let's see. My first advice whenever we open up a new map is pretty much analyze it to think about where are we going to expand further, because of course at the beginning we only get one tile, and along with the milestones that we achieve with the population number, we can extend in building more. The mod that I told you at the beginning, the mod which provides us 25 tiles, which is higher than what is the Cities Skylines default offering for us to extend, will only be provided when we get to the last milestone. All right. One of the most difficult things actually that you can start with is pretty much think about how you will create a connection inside the city, especially that you need to make sure that the inside the city will have let's say huge traffic in time. At the beginning will not be a struggle, because at the beginning you don't have too much industrial zones, you don't have too much residential areas, and not too many cars will jump into the city, but in time it will get more and more. So of course we will think about how we are going to connect the highway to the city, basically to have more connections. At the same time, at the beginning, without the first or the second milestone, we are not going to be able to see the details about it, basically to see the natural resources, but you can also take advantage of the color of the grass. If it's lighter green, this is suitable for farming because it's fertile land, so this can be considered. Maybe this area will be actually considered for farming, but we will get there. It's something which we're not going to struggle right now. For what I can see, the land is pretty flat, it's just a bit of an elevation, and we also have railways exactly into the first tile, which is not that often. For what I can see with this new map, we have also a different kind of highway style, let's say, connection or intersection, which seems to be efficient at first glance, but we'll see how this will handle in the future. For what I can see, it's also having a connection to the south, so that can be considered in the future as well when we are expanding. All right, there's a lot of ways you can start a city. Actually, to start the road which enters in the first tile, but again, you need to make sure that this will kind of be upgradable or simply to handle higher traffic that will come into the city in time. So of course, the biggest advice will be to extend into the first tiles to the highways so we can create more intersections, more entrances in the city, because one entrance will not manage the entire traffic flow. Now, when it comes to the roads, at the beginning there is no road unlocked besides the standard two-lane road. You will have to create one, then delete it, of course, so you can unlock the rest. Not much to be unlocked, but you get the standard from each all, including which are one-way. Good. Now, the best option I can offer is a roundabout, a bigger one, which will stand the traffic at the beginning. And at the same time, we will have to think where we will place residential and where we will place the industrial zone at the beginning. The reason why is because the industrial zone will pollute, will create a lot of pollution, which will make the citizens sick, and that will not be beneficial. That needs to be kept separated. So let's try to dive in. We are going to choose the two-lane one-way road because the highways entering into the city are one-way, 3 lanes inside, 3 lanes outside, connecting to this big intersection made by the game, which is of course locked from the moment. Good. Normally what I do as a standard way, which might be deleted or not in the future, is to go a bit inside to the city and outside again, as you can see by the arrows indicating the lane. You can just use that as guidance, and no worries, those can be changed once you place them. Alright. Now, what I like to do is kind of create like a double roundabout, and one will be considered a bridge crossing over, because it's going to be very important to have residents being able to go to the industrial site without messing up too much the roundabout. The roundabout is pretty much to be considered as an entry point more than something to be used often throughout the entire flow of the city. Alright, let's think about it. I've seen a lot of streamers creating like a middle road, both of these lanes connecting to it, which in my opinion it's getting crowded very often. So let's try to create something like a roundabout, and I will show you my way to do it. Pretty much we select the curve road and kind of create from both sides around like let's say 4, and then round it up. It's not going to be fully rounded, it's like an oval kind of structure or form. Alright, just a sec. There we go. And this side as well. And then you can get a straight one connecting the road. So basically it's not round, it's more of an oval form. And of course we need to make sure we change the direction, because as you can see we have here an indicator that there is a conflict, they are not synchronized. So let's change by right clicking on the roads which are not having the right direction, and now it's connected. The problem is that this is not actually considered a roundabout because it's just entering and out. So for example, if the people here would like to get to this side, they will have to get out of the city, go into the intersection, and somehow find a way to get back in, which is taking time. So let's create also some sort of a connection, still selecting the one-way road, two-lane one-way road, and create, let's say, some sort of round thingy. Now, if the people from here want to go to this side, they can just use this road and get to the other side. So pretty much like a roundabout, but with intersections inside as well. And this will be kept left alone. It's big enough to handle traffic flow, it's upgradable if you wish to, and that's it. Now, when it comes to junctions, by default, this system will not create any kind, at least on this kind of roads, will not create any kind of traffic lights or stop signs or anything like this. Normally, you don't need to, but you want to have the people getting into the city prioritized. So you can get here to this side, go to the traffic routes, select junctions, and then you have these buttons unlocked to create a stop or traffic lights. I want to create a stop sign. So if the people are coming inside here, the ones here will stop, giving priority to the ones entering into the city. If you're seeing in the future that there's a huge lane crossing this, you can just deselect it and they will kind of be like, I don't know, getting along with each other to get into the specific lane. Good. Also be very careful about the funds because you start the city with 70,000, let's say, dollars, and with this money you have to make sure you create a starting point infrastructure, get water into the city, get electricity, so on and so forth. Now, when I mentioned about the water, this is a very small river to be considered as a water source. If you get, let's say, going to the water and select the water pumping station, this will get too much water from the river and basically this part will just be dry. Not okay. We have here a lake, but not enough to handle the water flow. What I also see as a bummer, and let's go to the free camera mode, is that there is no sea on this map, which means that we are not gonna be able to have harbors into the city or ships, which might help us in developing tourists getting into the city. But I'm gonna try to focus on the airports because this game it's including the airports and it's a good choice. Alright, let's move along and we will start managing some residential place. Now, in regards of the style, there are two ways. You can either just do grid, which is boring, just rectangles over rectangles, which is kind of annoying at some point, or try to do European. I might say European to just create like a chaos. I like to do something in between. At the beginning I start with a grid so I can get as much people as possible, and you will see why, because next to the roads you will be able to place zones. If there is no road connection, you are not going to be able to place zones where people are going to start building houses, and pretty much it's going to be annoying. So let's get a road. We are not going to place something bigger starting at the beginning, and that's it. Not too big because the funds available, it's not that high. Roads are expensive at the beginning, and you also have to make sure you will have pipes. Like I said from the beginning, I normally start with a grid kind of layout to get as much people into the city as possible. Not going too close to the railways because I'm not sure yet how I'm going to manage this in the future. As well as here, same thing. 1 and 2. There we go. For the moment, that's it. Not gonna do more. But at the same time, we need also an industrial site, so we are gonna do two ways here. I like to curve it a bit to not occupy this entire zone, because for what I'm sure, this darker looking grass, I think it's having ore inside that we can use in the future to create an ore industrial site. But for the industrial, for the moment, we are going to focus in having a grid as well, getting as much as we can get from the beginning, remembering that there's going to be a lot of pollution. Good. Alright, got this covered as well. Let's handle electricity. Not gonna build more roads for the moment. Electricity, it's a problem at the beginning. The only options you have is having wind turbine, which is not too efficient and it's depending on wind. If it's not elevated too much, the wind is not that high. For what I can see here, it's showing to be wind, but I don't want to have wind turbines on this area, so I'm gonna rely on coal power plant, which is pretty expensive, $19,000, which only left us with 18,000. We need to get power lines. For what you can see around the coal power plant, we have the electricity availability. Buildings next to it will gather electricity and we will share it with others if they are close enough. But on that side we don't have availability, so we have to get some power lines. So we were gonna try to start dragging. Here we can go across the road and connecting here and here. For the moment those will be taken off in the future when everything is close to each other. So electricity, we have it covered mostly. Now when it comes to water source, you need to make sure you have two. You need a water supply and a water drainage. This is 2500 and this is 3500. You can place this somewhere which is not going to affect people because it's making noise pollution. And the roundabout will not be a place to be used for any kind of buildings. So we can place it there. I think it's kind of looking interesting to have something like this inside your city and start dragging water pipes. Alright, I normally like to follow the roads, and if there is more to cover, just do it like this. Alright, this area is already, as you can see, in blue-ish. We have the area covered for water supply. Same thing do in this side. Keep in mind it's pretty expensive. And we have water supply here as well, leaving us with enough to purchase drainage and connecting, and we only have 600 left, but we have all the facilities needed to start a city. We have electricity, water supply, water drainage, and the pipes connected. Alright, now as you can see from the beginning, I have not played the game because the income, it's gonna decrease because we do not have any income into the city yet. The money, it's not flowing, so we need to start selecting residential areas. I have these two selected. For the moment will be okay. I'm also going to select a commercial zone inside here and industrial on this side for the moment. That's it. I designated all the areas. I'm going to hit the highest speed of the time and buildings will start building here. As you can see, income is going downwards because we do not have any money flow into the city yet. It's going to take a bit of time until industrial, residential, and commercial will start producing, selling, so on and so forth. No worries, that's not going to be a struggle. Pretty fast you will start earning. You just need to have a bit of a patience. Leave everything be for the moment. And for what I can see, we have identified our first problem. First problem is that the water source here, it's not receiving electricity. This is something that may be a problem at the beginning because even if this is connected, it's not powering to deliver the water. Let's see. We'll play the game and hopefully we will start earning before people struggling too much with the water availability. For what I can see, no one is concerned yet, but they will start to be concerning pretty soon. Already have 240 people inside the city and it's getting upper and upper. First milestone, it's around 400 people. Industrial side, it's already gaining, and for what I can see, the traffic already started. This still doesn't have electricity, but for what I can see, alright, they started having issues and we do not have money to build. We can check loans, but it's not available until we reach 550 people. So what you can do is pause the game and start designating more place for people to get inside. They will move in first, and then maybe we can get along. Okay, I think emotions play a bit of a game here with me, and not having the water supply covered with electricity, but no worries, this may not be too much of a bummer at the beginning because we still have residential demand. Hopefully getting it enough higher to get the first milestone, to get a bit of money, to cover the water, and we're gonna be all set. There we go, people are continuously moving in larger numbers. It should manage the job. Already 420. People are getting now concerned. There is no water. There is drainage, but there is no water. Not a problem. Do not panic at this point. Leave everything on high speed. Wait until you can manage this. It's already saying water pump needed. People may start moving out. People may start moving in. Be patient, because it will get resolved. Alright, this is what I was waiting for. The city is on the brink of bankruptcy. You must cut services by shutting them down or raise taxes to gain more income. You can also take a loan if any are available, and it's giving you a bailout. Bailout option. If the above measures are not enough, you can take a bailout to save your city. Note that a bailout disables further achievements. This is kind of strange to happen at the beginning. You can accept it, but this will bailout disables further achievements. Not gonna be a problem. Not looking for achievements. I was waiting for this opportunity because every mistake that you do in the city is going to be resolved, one and so forth. It's easy to get stuck in the game and having to just start a new one. But most of the times the game will will try to assist you. So let's accept this. Pause the game to not lose any funds that we were being granted, and have this connected. Go here and here. No worries about what it's looking so far. You will be able to handle that. Good. And now they all have water. They will get happier, and the city will start working. Alright, as you can see, the residential demand is getting higher and higher. We have houses close enough to this area to connect electricity to, so let's designate these places, and that will start getting more and more people into the city. There we go, first achievement. We got 550 people, this city considered Little Hamlet. So now we can take a look. We already have 60,000 as per income, so we can plan more into the city. Now, first thing you will consider is that you will see options available to provide. My advice is to not invest yet in healthcare or education and focus in what the city needs, which is currently some landfill site for garbage, because garbage will start piling up and will be the same problem like it was with the water. You can place it somewhere around the industrial area because it's polluting as well. And for the moment, focus in expanding. We can start in expanding this area more. Let's try to create different shapes. Like I said, I'm gonna follow from the beginning some sort of a grid kind of layout. It's beneficial at first to get more people inside. Don't go too far to the highway or the highway entrance. You need that free for the moment that you're gonna start changing the layout or the entrance into the city, and continue expanding. create room with the funds you have available to get more people into the city. Now, we only have one entrance into the residential area, which is going to get a bit crowded in the future. So try, because you have the funds available, to invest into a road as large as a 4-lane road, because this can be upgraded to 3-lane without affecting the buildings on the side. And because we have this roundabout, it's also going to be something symmetrical. And we build this, and this can be used as another connection into the residential area. There we go. So now we have two. People might use it or not, but it's something to be considered. And at the same time, do not forget that the people from the residential area to go to the industrial site will use the same roundabout that is being used for getting into the city, which is not great because it's going to be very crowded. So try as much as possible to create connections with the industrial site or with this area of the map without using too much of the traffic. Where is the hospital? I need a doctor. Come on. You don't need a doctor yet. You just moved into the city. I'm not sure you're not sick yet. Alright. Continuing further, I was considering a bridge. So we can start by creating one. Look at the elevation step. Do not create it too steep. So place it to the middle. Go 10 tiles further, and with the key page up, you can raise it a bit. Here it is raised. Go further again, right next to the road, page up again, go further a bit, and then 10 tiles further, page down, 10 tiles further, page down, and we can use now this road to connect to the industrial part. So the people from here are going to use this bridge to go into the industrial site as well. Now we can just continue in checking the services, making sure people are having water, because the electricity will be enough for the moment. It's already being used, it's at max, so we're good. Okay, good shape. Alright, continuing further, assign more places for residential use, and you can start the city again. My advice as well for the city services like education. Education, of course, it's something you can place whenever you want, but it's very recommended. When it comes to healthcare or fire safety or security in the city, do not provide it unless it's requested. Unless you notice that people are getting sick or fires are starting, or simply there are security issues. Until then, do not invest into it. It's going to create a bit of problems. You're gonna have to reduce your income, so stick with it until it's requested. For what I can show right now, we have demand on the industrial, so I'm gonna assign the entire place with industrial area to be built. There we go. Dubai, well, not even close to Dubai, but hopefully we will get there. Alright. Close to 1,000 people already into the city. We can also assign again a commercial site here, so we can have a higher money flowing to the city. Alright, this is what I was waiting for. Now we have a second achievement or milestone for Worthy Village, reaching 1,100 people into the city. Alright, because of that, now I think may be a good time in investing more and checking all the services required. For what I can see, there is a problem here because the water supply, it's not connected to that place. So we can just create a connection right now, and we have that covered as well. As you can see, already what we expended from the previous milestone, it's already getting full. So we can just continue in, let's say, expanding this 2-lane road further ahead to be used in the future and expand this area more. Alright. Start creating different shapes. Still, those are just rectangles or squares. But a bit of diversity in this rectangle forms may be okay at the beginning. Like this, you can make sure you get as much tiles occupied as possible. Create one last one because you're getting close to the river, and this river, it's not enough to handle ferries, let's say, in the future. Alright, now make sure you have water supply into the new build area. There we go. You can continue here just to have it under the road, and this side as well. There we go. Now we have this connected as well. Good. At the same time, check the electricity because for what I can see, it's already getting down. So my advice will be at this point to simply just build another coal power plant. Build it somewhere a bit farther. There we go. We have the funds. It's placed just to make sure the city has enough. And continue in designating places for people. You can also create another connection with the road here to have more ways to get into this part, play the game, and just admire this one. Solar panels or nuclear? Well, pretty much when it comes to solar panels or nuclear, that's going to be something you will be able to unlock further away. The next one will be an oil power plant. You can also build a hydro power plant, but on this map it's not going to be helpful because we don't have too much of a water flow into the city, and we also have, there we go, solar power plant and nuclear as well. Until then, from what I can see, you need to reach for the solar 24,000 people into the city, not even close. So you just wait until you get to that point. Alright, and we have the first fire into the city. Pause the game and build emergency services firehouse. Start building it now when it's just needed because you need to make sure you have as much income into the city as possible to always have money available in case of an emergency. So we just placed the firehouse. People are getting happier because this service is available into the cities, so the residential demand will increase as much services are being built into the city. So that's covered as well. Alright, this map looks pretty good though. As you can see, we can already build or purchase actually a new tile, not needed now. We have room to increase our population, so we will leave it be. Check often the water supply. For what I can see, the water availability is already slowly decreasing. For the sewage, it's enough, and we already have now crime issues. We have the funds available. Get a police station, build it somewhere in the middle, and now we have that too. The security will not be an issue for the moment. There we go. Crime is already being handled. When it comes to health treatment, we don't have yet the funds, but it's just 10,000. We're gonna have it in just a few seconds. And we already got a third achievement, Tiny Town, reaching 1600 into the city living already. Now at this point, because the demand it's not that high because there are no services, and you already reached the third achievement or a milestone, you can build a medical clinic. Build it again somewhere to cover more ground. Hit start because we have the funds and it's not affecting us, leaving us still with 19,000, 20,000. So the services are higher into the city. Alright. For this moment, pretty much it's again a patience test, waiting for people to get inside. Already have an income per week of 2,000, which is awesome to be considered like this. we go. And as you can see, it's already increasing as per residential demand, so we can continue in designating places for residential. There we go, have it. At the same time, do not forget about the industrial, because you need industrial from the moment. What DLCs you have, all the DLCs are included, including the most recent one, airports, but again, no mods, so just the releases of DLCs. The only mod available, the only mod applied to the game is the 25 tile mod, which only unlocks when you reach the last milestone, and that's it. Alright, continuing designating more place for industrial. That's going to be extra needed into the city. For commercial, to have what to sell at the beginning. Make sure this is also connected to the water pipes. You can put them whatever you want because they're underground anyways, but I like symmetry. Alright, so now they're starting into building more industrial there. And for what I can see, we have our first issue, which is water availability. So we can either create, let's say, maybe 2 water towers. They're not so expensive. Connect them with each other and make sure they have electricity. They do. Start the city again. Always pause the games when you are placing stuff like this, especially if you are on an income issue. Alright, now because the city is a bit bigger, you can start taking a look into the education and see how many are eligible. For what I can see, 350. An elementary school will handle, let's say 300. It's already more than the eligible, so you can start placing an elementary school. Try again to place it somewhere where it's going to cover as much ground possible. People are getting happier. Demand will increase. Alright. For what I can see, we have demand for commercial, which means that the industrial is creating more than the commercial available in the city can handle. So we can already designate again a place for commercial, new shops to be built, to be used for creating a higher money flow into the city. As you move along, you will receive certain tips into the game. For what I can see here, it's telling me to build a fishing industry. For the moment, I'm not going to invest in any industry, but what I wanted to show you, and I'm going to place the game a bit lower on the speed. Take a look on the map resources. You can go on the top left, and now you have a lot of buttons unlocked, this one being natural resources, and there you go. This particular land is having ore inside, so here we will be able to build an ore industry, which will increase, of course, the revenue of the city. We have here oil, so maybe we will do Dubai after all, because there's a lot of ground that we can gather oil from, and here we have fertile land that we can use for farming. Awesome. A lot of opportunities in getting higher income into the city. For the moment, we're not going to invest into that. There's going to be a pretty expense, so we're going to wait until we gather more and more funds. Looking now, we have a pretty high residential demand. Make sure you provide a space to build residential as well as commercial, because people want to get into living into the city. After all, if you look at it, it's pretty quiet, pretty interesting. I would like to live here as well. There we go, another milestone, Boomtown. Receiving another fund, 70,000 already, thinking about expanding. Now, I'm gonna make sure that this area will be kept free because it's gonna be used for ore industry. So I'm gonna continue expanding into this side for the moment, and we will see in the future how we will handle. Now, take a look a bit. As per roads, the roads connecting to this part are just 2-lane roads on both sides. Not too beneficial, especially when we're gonna have a crowded city. So, and because this area it's bigger, of course, more people will live here. So make sure that the road you create here is gonna be a road which can handle a higher traffic flow. For that, I'm recommending, of course, a 4-lane road. We have the funds available to create a road like this. So go along and create a road inside. At least for this part. As well as, I'm recommending in the future, when the city develops, you will make sure you will build some traffic. From public transport. You see here already there is one 4-lane road with bus lanes. It's not very beneficial because just one for buses and one for cars will not be enough. Yes, I vote for public transportation too, but it's not really needed at the beginning, but it's very good to be planned. And I was telling you before that if you create roads like this from the beginning, which you know you will upgrade, the large roads like the 3-lane ones will be the same size, which will not affect the buildings already built on the side. If you want to upgrade a road like this to a higher one, the buildings on the side will be deleted, which is not a very bummer, but still. Can I vote? Is your city Democrat or totalitarian? Yeah, you can vote. So you voted already for public transportation, no worries, your vote will be considered and we will invest in the future in public transport. As many options possible, which are cities, maybe ferries if it's possible, but not quite, taxis, even tourist tours, whatever. We will get to that point anyways. So my advice here, because you will have bus lanes, is to make sure that you will have a connection. Oh, just build the most expensive one. You will have a connection to this kind of road. So do it like this. You can create a square here. Maybe you will use this particular square for a park and continue along with it. And the rest of the roads can be smaller ones, using to be expenses. Yes, my king, you are very kind. You don't have to call me a king, but I'm kind, I'm surely do. Alright, start expanding, create roads to expand your city as you like, as your preference, doesn't matter. Make sure you have room for getting more and more people inside. You can use already intersections that are already available to expand. Try not to create too many on a road, because of course that will trigger traffic lights and the traffic will have to stop multiple times if the road is full of intersections. So just continue expanding in a way that will not create too many intersections. There we go, I have this one, I can go inside, so on and so forth. Continue on this side. I don't want to connect this to the road yet. I just need room of expanding the city. Here as well, actually. There we go. Because we have these intersections that we can use and take advantage of. Okay stuff, where are you from? I'm assuming you're from Romania based on your name, but I might be mistaken. Alright. I think that's going to be enough for the moment. We have built a lot of roads, so just make sure that you have the services needed And that should be it for the moment. They have water and all that is needed. There we go. Continue in applying the other pipes. Like I said, I normally like to just place them below the roads, thinking about real life when they have to maintain the pipes. In Cities Skylines, there is no need of maintaining the pipes underground, so I think that's a plus. Imagine the construction sites for the entire city, especially when there are pipe issues. Alright, so now we have that covered as well. Electricity, we still handle it barely. It may be a good option to purchase another coal power plant until we get the oil one, which provides more electricity, and now just start designating places for people. Now, my advice when it comes to roads like this, high density roads, is to have the commercial sites next to them. 4 tiles will be enough to designate 4 commercial area and the rest use for residential, because the traffic will be higher where there is commercial than it is residential. I have what I need designated, so I can just start the game and that's it. The taxes are too high, I will start an uprising. Down with the government. Come on, Uzi. What's with the pessimism? The mayor is trying hard to keep you happy. Alright. More and more people are getting in. We are in very good shape. Good. Now, my advice at this particular point, if you look at the milestones, we are right now at Boomtown and we will get the next one at 6,000 people. Until 6,000 people are living into the city, my advice will be just to increase and not invest in anything to get a lot of funds, because it's a very good deal to start having your first industrial designated zone, and I'm gonna consider this one for ore industry because it will bring a lot of income into the city and will handle a lot of industrial demand, which is pretty awesome. So until we get that milestone, just make sure you get people into the city more and more to get the milestone, because that's also gonna give you a bit of funds and we can start investing into this one. As you can see, the traffic is a bit high, but only considering the fact that we just designated more places so people are moving in. But once they are moved in, traffic flow will decrease a bit. Pretty much for the moment, I'm not seeing struggles into the traffic. Everything is working accordingly, so not a concern for the moment. Awesome. Already having 43 dollars, I might say, into the city, so we're good. A building has leveled up, so that's awesome. It means that the happiness into the city is pretty okay, and I really like to often look at the traffic flow, which is currently 94%, a bit crowded here, but that will be managed in time once we unlock more tiles to connect it to the highway, especially that we have railways to create cargo ships, which will help as well. We start getting industrial demand, and we are not close to 6,000 people, so let's continue expanding allowing more people into moving in, designate for residential, this side only, designate for residential, make sure people are gonna start moving in. Alright, commercial, again, as I said, try to put it to the high density road and then expand residential on the side. Higher traffic flow will be around commercial zones, and this is why we have this road here, so we can maintain traffic. Alright, industrial higher and higher, you can consider placing just a bit, but you want to keep that a bit elevated so you can start the industrial zone, and I will show you in a moment when we're gonna build it here to have demand on it. Alright, for the moment everything is going smoothly. So let's place the city on the lowest speed because we have to take a break. So we are currently gonna take a break and come back here, break 5 minutes. Alright, back already into the city. Let's see what we had to do now. We already got a huge increase in the revenue, $76,000 into the bank. A lot to be used and it's increasing fast. We have 4,400 per week income, which is awesome. So we can consider that for our industrial demand. As per the milestone, we need to reach 6,000 people to get the next one, and once we get it, we will consider for creating the industrial part. I want to create first a road to connect this part to industrial. This will be beneficial, and we can also use this particular part to increase more. There we go. And increase more on this side and this side. Why not? Okay, Make sure you have water availability, and for what I can see now, we need to handle the drainage. We have multiple options, but this is a bit more expensive. For the moment, we are going to just consider inland water treatment plant, place it, and connect it to the pipes. Electricity is going to gather from the nearby buildings, so that should be enough. Alright. Moving along. We will continue with the city. There's a huge, again, continuing to be a huge demand on industrial. We will handle, but I really want to make sure I'm going to reach the 6,000 people. I like to do it this way, so I have the most funds available to do it. Here I would like to designate just a bit more of commercial and continuing along with residential areas. There we go. Alright. The residential demand still stays a bit high just for us to manage what is needed, so we are going to be okay for the moment, no doubt. Already reaching 100,000 in the bank, which is awesome. Will be used for getting along. There we go, and the city is looking good. Let's take a look at the education. So we have available right now 400, and we only have one elementary school, so I'm considering in building a new one, which is gonna be around here, and soon to get a high school, because this will teach 1,000, and we already have 800 eligible. The elementary will need it for the moment. For what I can see, a bit of a water issue. We will handle it right now. I got what I did. There we go. OCD at its place. Good. That is handled. As it comes to the security, it's slowly handled, but it is. But we have the first debt into the city, and we need to take care of the debt as well too already. So in order for to do this, you can go to the healthcare and choose to have a cemetery in the city. Consider the best place. This seems to be a quieter one, and I'm going to just place it here. That's it. People are happier than ever to have a cemetery with a small chapel. Awesome, beautiful. We also have our first abandoned building. My advice, you can just leave it there and it will be occupied in the future if there is higher demand. What I like to do is to just take it off. It will build faster, something to reoccupy the space. If you take a look, in maximum a minute or two, the space will be occupied again with a house. There we go, already one building. Now, also need to make sure that in game you check the services as often as possible. Right now, for what I can see, there are people which are complaining about garbage. It was handled, but the city is getting bigger and bigger. Not enough for our only landfill site to handle, which is already half full. Because we have the funds available, I'm recommending to have another one, which is going to be a recycling center, which does not pile up. Build it. It's a bit expensive, 16,000, but we have the funds available and we will get a milestone soon already anyways. That will trigger more trucks, 15 trucks at max to handle the garbage, which is awesome. Good. A lot of connections in and out to the residential and the industrial. Looking pretty good though, if you ask me. I will live in this town, but imagine how this will look like in the future. Alright, pretty important to mention. In order for us to build here a farm side, it's very recommended for the farm side to be connected to the highway. Yes, we need more jobs. I know there is a huge demand on industrial, but I'm waiting for the next milestone to build here an ore industry. And that's why I was waiting for that moment, because that will manage the industrial demand. I know a bit of a high demand right now, but it will be handled when we reach 6,000. We are at 5,000 already, so we should be good. Should be good for the moment. Actually, let me take my advice just to balance the things, and I'm gonna just designate this particular place and this one for industrial to balance the situation a bit. Alright, a bit of a traffic flow, getting really annoying for some people. Mostly the traffic flow is in regards of the people going into industrial site. What you can do at this point is create another entrance into the industrial point right here and here. People might start using it for that road to ease up a bit. It's not going to be a huge increase, it's not going to take care too much about it, but for the moment it may do the job. Alright, residential demand again, exactly what I was waiting for, so we can start placing more and more residential areas. There we go. I will use this entire tile. Water availability there is, so we all good. Just 950 people to get living into this house, to get a milestone, so we can build our industry for ore. We already have it unlocked. Well, like I said, this is my plan for the moment. I like to have as much funds available when building industrial sites to not worry about, let's say, maybe some issues. Now, again, very recommended to have connection with the highway. So I'm gonna also build this land right now to create a connection with the highway coming into the city. We have one, but it's only one. I'm going to use this particular one to create a connection into the city here, because of course, again, here we will have a ore industry which is in pure need of highway connection. Again, having huge demand on industrial, I'm going to continue balancing a bit the stuff by assigning a bit more. I don't want to overfill it because I want people to work in the ore industry once I build it. Already having 54, close to 5,400 people living into the city. There we go. Very close to our next milestone. Should be all good. And we have another issue, which comes to electricity. Still gonna dependent on coal power plant, a bit expensive, but we have the funds available to handle it for the moment until we get higher and more beneficial options for electricity demand. What I can see, the road, this one is now being used, which is awesome. It might just ease up the traffic here, but we'll see. We'll see how this develops in time. Have you played Rimworld? No, I have not, but if it's about close to this idea, I might gonna start playing that, who knows. Let me know in the chat what it's about. I might take a look in the free time. Alright, very close to reach 6,000. Let's designate more industrial, not industrial, sorry, a bit of more commercial, and at the same time the rest to be residential buildings, so we can handle the reach of our next milestone. Just 300 people more needed into the city to reach that milestone, and that will be more than, that will create us more happy. Alright. Just 150 people more needed. Waiting for people to move in. Houses are being kept to be built. I'm gonna assign just a bit more commercial sites here and the rest for residential. There we go. Awesome. Huge demand on our industrial, but good that we have a lot of funds, because we will have to invest a lot in creating an intersection from the highway inside here, creating the industrial site altogether. And by looking a bit at the natural resources, a lot of this ground which is providing ore is already occupied, so we will need to hopefully create a design which will handle it great. What I can see, houses are being upgraded, because as you can see we have a bit of a loss in population only because the houses are getting upgraded, so new people or more people getting to live in bigger houses. So that's more than great. Good thing to consider. Alright, residential demand again, and I was thinking in just expanding a bit more, getting a 2-lane road, advance this a bit, because this one will be used in the future to cross this river. We'll get to that point as well. For the moment, let's handle just a bit more of this kind of a demand. Check the water supply, there is. Place and place. Awesome. City getting bigger and bigger. Have to go. Thank you very much. Thank you as well for visiting my channel. Don't you worry, because we will publish more and more. All right. Starting to getting impatient in having the people needed to live into the city. A bit of a struggle, not gonna lie. So let's try to build more roads. Create one here, connect it to this part, because we already have intersections built, and this side as well. This side as well, just until this point. Check the water supply. There we go. We do not have any. So let's connect water supply to this part of the city, and let's connect it here. Awesome. Alright, don't forget, keep that part close to the high density roads empty for commercial, and this part for residential, way more beneficial like this. Same thing we do here. So we have people moving in. Check if they will drag electricity to them, because buildings needed to be close by enough to get electricity from them. Otherwise you will have to create power lines, which will diminish a bit the space you have to gather the electricity, or maybe to place zones. Alright, people constantly moving in. Wanted to check the education now, because remember I told you about high school that this is having 1,000 capacity, but eligible are just 650. If I don't reach 1,000, I'm not gonna place it. So we're good for the moment. There we go. They moved in and it dragged electricity. Awesome. Waiting for just them to move in, so we get that 6,000 people milestone. City getting bigger and bigger. What I also like, I like this map, is in regards of the amount of trees. It's kind of having a French style, I might say, for all of the squares this forms. It's kind of interesting. It's a map I have not played before, so it kind of looks good. The only problem that I have with this map is the water flow, because we do not have ocean access, which is pretty of a bummer, and the river is also very small. What you can do about it anyways. Alright, very close to reach that 6,000 milestone. Can't wait to get to that point. And that should be it. Let's actually hurry up the process by expanding the roads more. We can get until this part, build a road, try to have it to the same. Oh, come on. I'm so close. Maybe we can get this closer. There we go. Now I have a guide to use. Right. And I would like to get this here. Why not? Even here on this side. Good. So we can start designating more and more residential spaces. This doesn't have water though, so keep in mind, do not forget to drag it, but still you will get pop-ups that there is no water available there to remind you. So good. Awesome. $50 more people needed. We are in a very good shape to get a milestone. 40 more. All good. People struggling with fires here. Fire department already doing its job. Safe city than ever. And there's our milestone. Awesome. Pause the game. We have 262 in the bank. We are gonna grab right now the highway connection to get into this part. So let's do it like this. What I like to do is simply delete these places, make room enough to create an intersection. I like this one because then if I want to, I can also use it for going to the other side as well. Delete more and make sure it's straight. A bit strange, but we can manage this, because if I delete this as well, I can now start dragging the highways, grab the highways. I'm recommending freeway because look at this kind of shape. Create a bit of a rounded situation. Good. Same thing we do here. And we have it rounded. Do not forget to update this, and that's it. Now, because we have this intersection, we can use it to go there, we can use it to go there, and I can also use it to come on this side. So what I like to do is grab the curved road, create a curvy situation straight enough to go into that direction. Same thing you do here. Make sure it is farther enough to the corner so it's going to be the same gap between them, and from this point gather them straight into the city. Alright, let's build them just until this point. Same thing with this one. What I can see, it's not completely straight. I'm not gonna keep the same gap. There we go, because this is considered straight for it. So we are gonna just take it off again and try again to create the curve needed to have it at the same direction. Still not there. Keep trying until you get it. If you want to keep that symmetry you wanted, I think if I go, there we go, I think if I just do like this, I may just get the right shape that I'm looking for. A bit of a struggle, but not a huge problem. Alright, let's see right now. Good. Got what I needed. It's the gap, it's decreasing a bit, but I'm not too concerned about it. Get this direction set up. There we go. And what I'm gonna look into doing now is to create some bridges to come across this railroad. I'm not gonna continue with the highway from this point. I actually can, but again it's gonna create a bit of a struggle. So what I want to do is simply just continuing with this, and maybe with standard roads, and then maybe if I want to in the future to continue the highway because it's still going to be somehow connected. And let's do the bridges. Actually, you know what, I'm gonna try and we will see what happens. I know the gap is decreasing, but I think it's enough to handle it. Let's see. I'm gonna try one more time this. Changing my mind a lot, I know, but I want to get that symmetry with it. So I was here, let's build it like this. Now the gap it's increasing. Nice. Struggles and struggles. So this is that part. Let's go one step behind. Let's see now. Still decreasing. Let's try one more time. We are getting there. Okay, let's see now. Gap increasing. Good. That should do it. There we go. Perfectly. Keeping the gap exactly the same, exactly what I was looking for. I know it took a bit of time, but I am happy enough that I have handled that. Awesome. Good. Now we start with the bridges. Take the highway again. I'd like to keep the elevation at the middle. We will create the increase. So go 10 tiles, increase once. Go 10 tiles, increase once. Go right next to it and increase again. Right next to it, increase again. Go just a bit to travel across. No, actually no. We were too close. Let's try again. So let's go once, click once, go once, click once, go until here, increase again, go until here, increase again. Still a problem. Alright, now I'm happy with this one. We got the highway connection into the city, so we can now... I was thinking into something. I might just place this particular intersection to get it inside, but I think it's occupying more space. This will be more... not quite though. But if you get that space, it might help. It's gonna help. But it's very few space for our ore industry. So it's a bit of a decision to take here, but again, what I'm looking for is that the first industrial side will not be that big. The farming one will be pretty good. So I'm gonna just get it, because we can, and still at the next milestone we are gonna get another one unlocked as well. So I'm gonna get it right now. Purchase and create this particular intersection. Keep in mind the gap, it's bigger, so create it a bit farther away to create that curved road into the intersection. Grab your highways again, grab the freeform, and not the greatest at all is that. Let's try to go straight. Why not? It's creating some sort of around it. No, it doesn't. But this does. Good. Now I'm happy. This is better. Okay. And here, pretty much, what we are going to do is to just go inside. I'm going to choose the small industry road with one lane. Go inside one tile. Let's maybe two. Go inside two. Make sure you handle direction. Create a roundabout. And that's it for the moment. I think that's too big. Yeah, this satisfies enough. No, not happy at all. Take it off and build it from this point, because here we can make it high. We can make it bigger. Grab again rounded one. Same thing here. Yeah, much more better. Right, make sure you handle direction and at the same time. I don't like to build fully rounded, but I'm gonna try this once. Create this here. Take my advice and to not mess this. Make a cross inside of it, at least like this. Take this road off. Grab again this one and do the road, the rounded one. And try to make it when it becomes rounded. There we go. Same thing. Do here once it becomes rounded. There we go. This one. Don't forget to change the direction. And now we have a fully working roundabout. We can now take off this dirt, and it was kept round enough to handle what is needed. Good. I know it's a very small portion, just this one, but it should be enough to handle what I want to handle. Grab again, medium industry road, go straight till the end, and grab roads again. You can take one into that direction and continue on this side. Make your industry prosper. Make sure you have room. Not like me, because I do not have too much room here to expand anyways. Alright. Maybe I'm gonna put a road here to build something. And a road here to build something as well. And let's make it like this. That leave it empty for a larger building. For the moment, I'm gonna leave it like this. Actually, here's the thing. There is a very small portion. I'm gonna delete this. Leave it a higher entrance. Alright. Now, to build this industrial, you will have to paint an industry area. I'm gonna make this industry this big. It's not high, I know. Our city is called Westwood, so let's call this Westwood or Inuku. Why not? Interesting. Incorporated. Good. And now go to garbage and industry, select ore industry, and get the oil industry main building. Place it where you have the necessary space. There we go. And now start getting ore out. I just created oil industry and messed up. Ore is right here. So ore industry main building. Place it. There we go. And now we can start building small ore mine. I can place it here. Place another one here. Ore grinding mill. Let's see where to place this one. I'm just going to place it here. Some sand storage. Make sure this has room to be placed somewhere. There we go. And don't forget to have enough mines. And for the moment, this is it. This is our industry. Now, to make it more aesthetic, I will go to the highways and build this, upgrade to this kind of wall. To create a wall around it, I think it may look better. Alright. Now, this doesn't have water, doesn't have electricity, so let's grab our services around this place for people to have what is needed. There we go. And done. This is managed. They also need electricity, and let's try to get some electricity inside. You can grab it exactly from the industrial area next to it. Good. You also have electricity now, and look at the industrial demand. People are going to start working here. Look at that ore, beautiful. Indeed, it is beautiful. Now we have residential demand increasing with high speed. Commercial as well. Let's place commercial down here and on this place as well. Some residential around this place. This as well. You can build next to the river, why not? Here as well. Have people moving in. Now we have garbage issues again. We're gonna handle it pretty soon. And why not having oil industry here? For what I remember, we do have it. So why not build it when we have the funds? As you can see, we only have 74,000 left. But we have our very small ore industry here. I know we have used it, but that does not mean we don't have any left. Look at all of this ore here. We also have their oil again on this side. Who knows? Or a lot on that side. I'm gonna look forward into farming anyways. Okay, People are getting here. Not too big of a profit yet. We're gonna wait until this reaches a new level. Once you reach 500 resources extracted, we will be able to. Alright, garbage issues. Because we have garbage issues, the only reason we have it's because this is full. So let's take a look at what options we have. We still only have 2 options. We're gonna grab again a recycling plant, build it there, and let that sink in. As well, try to create as much connections possible to the road and to the city. It's a bit of a bummer that this is going to be created like this. But what you can do is grab the round one and create it roundly a bit. That may not look too bad instead of being straight. And now people can come from the city into this particular industrial plant. Very high demand on residential, so we're going to continue in expanding our city now. We have not expanded it for a while, so let's do it right now. Grab a road, connect to this one, why not? Create some shapes, whatever you like, but make sure you continue in expanding. I'm okay with that. And also create it here. Awesome. That is built. Continue on this side. And connect it to this one so you can relay on it. Alright. Maybe you want to connect this road as well. Go like this. And maybe like this, why not? Same thing you can do here. Now we have more space designated for people. And why not connecting this road though? Here's what I was thinking about. Let's grab this more a bit, and not this particular road, but this one. Alright, and grab a road from this to that point. Look at it. More and more interesting. We can also grab these roads. It's not going to create too much of a mess. So we can continue in expanding this beautiful city. Good. Make sure you have water availability, and we are still struggling a bit, so I was thinking in having another water tower here, another water tower here connected to what is needed. Not sure it will gather electricity. Gather from that point, but not from there. Big of a bummer. I'm gonna do this. Grab these power lines because we already have it dragged. I don't think it's creating it's wrong. Good, it has it. And we have water availability. We can continue in dragging our water pipes. Alright. Don't want to break the symmetry, so let's get like here and around here. And now we can start placing again some residential buildings. There we go. There we go again. And this entire area I can designate it. Alright. Actually, let me stop a bit. I was thinking about something. Why not having this road coming along should be connected soon with the land over the river. So then we have two. Awesome. Struggling a bit with the garbage, but I have something in plan. Let's see when this unlocks at 8,500. I'm thinking when that's gonna be unlocked to build something for it and have more garbage control. The city is astonishing. It really is. Let's see. So I'm gonna have too many workers. I'm gonna try to hurry up the process and let's see if I can place another small ore mine. I actually can. Awesome. Two ones. I'm gonna place. There we go. Interesting enough. That's gonna gather more workers and more resources gathered as well. So why not take advantage? A lot of garbage issues. Soon to be handled, and let's try to actually handle it right now. And I was thinking about something very, very simple. Grab the elevation step like this, build it upwards, go across, go downwards, a bit straight, and on this particular side I'm going to build a small segment for garbage control, because this will be able to handle all the garbage from the city. Alright, make sure we grab water here. This is a small segment anyway that I do not need to keep unpolluted. It should be all good. Electricity, it's also something that we will need on this area, so let's grab some. Oh my god, what I did. Let's grab this. Elevate it a bit. Alright. Till this point, till this point, till this point. Now let's grab another of these ones. Other trucks will go out to handle the garbage. Once I reach 8,500 people, I'm gonna get the one which incinerates the garbage, and that's gonna help us even more. Alright, such a huge increase on residential, so let's continue in expanding that. I'm gonna designate this particular place. There we go. This particular place as well. Awesome. Here on this side. And leave them moving in. I can also designate this place as much more easier. Good. Where I can see the garbage is now easing up, so we should be good. Alright. Not concerned at all The only concern I have is that this ore industry will not be that good because we do not have the required space. But I think we can handle it anyways. Alright, interesting city though. Okay, electricity. Here's this one, 50,000. You know what? I'm gonna make 50,000 very soon. Very, very soon. Because I have a huge income anyways. The garbage still seems to be a problem. Not being gathered fast enough. But we will take care of that as well. I'm gonna leave the city as it is, just to get the funds available to get more electricity into the city. And here we are, second level on the ore industry. Okay, we have this building available, oil power plant. Alright, this should take care of electricity for a while. And soon I will upgrade this as well. For what you can see, we have abandoned buildings. Come on. And starting to have increased the commercial demands. Let's handle that. I'm gonna handle it like this. Here we'll have commercial, continuing this side, commercial again, residential in this little segment, commercial again, all the way across, commercial again here. Looking good. And for what I can see, the garbage situation got resolved, which is making me more than happy. Let's continue into expanding in our residential demand. Actually, to resolve the residential demand by placing more houses on this side. Why not? Alrighty. I think this might be it for the first episode anyways. We're streaming for almost 2 hours. So this is the first episode. Coming up, we will think about expanding more and more, and as well as building a park here, expanding, and at the same time reaching the population needed to build a farm area here, and at the same time expand our city into this direction, build more highways connections to the city. So thank you so very much for following. Thank you so very much for participating into the live event, as well as consider this as a training, consider this as an inspiration maybe. I'm not a pro myself either. This was my first live stream, my first episode on the channel. So thank you again for participating, and see you on the next episode. Let's save the game. Let's name this Westwood 1.0, save, and see you all at the next episode.